If you asked a Japanese Famicom fan what some of the worst games on the system were, inevitably Sherlock Holmes' Hakushaku Reijou Yuukai Jiken would come up. It hasn't gotten a lot of attention for being a terrible game outside of Japan, but it's especially infamous there. This is the first game from terrible publisher Toachiki. They were a small toy company who was making different little electronic gizmos for kids. These days they're only remembered for making awful video games. The problems start right from the title. Hakushaku Reijou Yuukai Jiken can be translated as Case of the Missing Countess. There is no missing countess. Instead, Margaret, daughter of Count Apple, has been abducted by the evil organization Papaya, and it's up to Holmes to find clues to her location. And you hunt for clues by murdering everyone you see. That's not even a joke. You need money to get train tickets or supplies. The only way to get money is to kill people on the street until you have enough cash. Don't feel too bad about it. Every single person in this game is hostile to you and will kill you with a touch. They may look like normal Londoners going about their business, but they all really want Sherlock Holmes dead. In Sherlock Holmes, the A button is always attack, and the B button is use an item. If you have multiple items to use, then you press select to pause the game, and A and B to select the item. On the street, Holmes' regular attack is a pathetic kick that doesn't do anything. In many instances, people will just walk on top of you as you kick. That's when you learn about the next horrible thing in this game. There's no invincibility frames, so someone walking on top of you just melts your health bar away. It's not hard to die instantly in this game because someone just gets on top of you. There's two ways to recover health. If you're in London, you can go back to your house and Watson will fix you up. Or if you're in London, then you can buy a potion that will heal you. What if you're not in London? Well, get ready to spend the equivalent of 15 dead civilians to get back to London so that you can get some health stuff. When you go into a location such as the park, a sewer, or break into someone's house, the game switches to side-scrolling action. Inside the building, your pathetic little kick is replaced with a pathetic little jump kick. It's also the only way to jump over gaps. Inside buildings, you have to beat people up to get information out of them. It's still mostly innocent people that you're beating up, but on rare occasions there will be a criminal. Every time you knock somebody down and they go into this dialogue screen, you have to hit A and B simultaneously to clear it. It also adds a little bit to that number beside I guess it's a horse in the upper left-hand corner. If that reaches 100%, then the villain gets away, even if you've already beaten the villain. The very first thing that you have to do to even have a chance in this game is get your magnifying glass. Where's your magnifying glass? They're not going to tell you in the game, that'd be silly. What you have to do is break into this house, then go to this painting, and press up to search it. With the magnifying glass in hand, you can now search random objects in other side-scrolling areas. Okay, some of the criminals that you beat up will at least direct you to the general vicinity, but unless you're following a walkthrough, you're still going to have to do a lot of searching of random spots. I'm going to be up front here, I made almost no progress in this game. Because it's so easy to die, and so frustrating to actually defeat enemies, and so much grinding of cash involved to actually do anything, it's effectively impossible to engage with this game. You can continue at the game over screen by holding down start and select, which revives you with 1 hit point and half your money. Why would they even implement something like that? Okay though, if you hold down right A and B on the second player controller, then you can continue with half your health and half your money. That second player controller is a real point of contention with players. The manual tells you you don't need the second player controller at all, but the second player controller is required to solve some puzzles in the game. You also need the second player controller to access the passwords. On that controller, press up and A, and a password screen will appear. There's no way to exit the screen though. You'll also note that this means that they had a password option on the main menu, and didn't tell people in the manual how to access their passwords. I think it should be clear by this point that Sherlock Holmes is a game that you only play on a dare. It's earned its reputation for being among the worst Famicom games. And somehow Toachiki goes on to make 2 more. At least those sequels are actually adventure games, so they're not quite as bad.